Friday afternoon to the low VA rates nation. Have been gone for a couple weeks. Sorry about that. Got to go see my daughter in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee, and visit a cute little old lady in rural Nebraska. So happy birthday, Mom. Today's topic that you guys are going to hang out with me and talk about is pros and cons of credit monitoring. You know, we always see some of those things that credit has a huge impact. So let's kind of take a little bit of time on a Friday afternoon and talk about some of the things that impact us that can either save us money or cost us money. So one of the things you might hear, this term is called FICO Score. It's actually, the company is Fair Isaac Corporation, and they are the ones that created the algorithm that actually takes into all the different factors about your credit and your ability to repay the debts. So there's actually FICO scores. There's three kinds. There is a credit card and an auto, and you're looking at the old-fashioned mortgage, which we do here at low VA rates. So when we look at these things, that Fair Isaac score, these scores are going to vary just a little bit, because when we think about it, a credit card, you know, this might be maybe a $5,000 limit on there. For an auto loan, oh gosh, it could be a $35,000 limit on that one. And a mortgage, it could be $250,000. So as the risk and the monetary value goes up, the Fair Isaac Corporation has made some minor adjustments to that algorithm based on the type of credit that you're applying for. So there's three major credit reporting agencies across our country that we deal with. We have Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So when we look at these things, Experian or Equifax is here in Georgia, and TransUnion is in, hold on a second, I got Allen, Texas, got to remember everything once in a while. TransUnion's in Pennsylvania, PA, and Texas. And Fair Isaac's actually out there in San Jose, California, in case you want to drop by and pay them a visit, because, you know, they have all your credit information. Make sure they're taking care of it. So when we look at these different areas, these are the three major companies that they aggregate the data with. I have seen over a long period of time, back even when I had hair, of doing mortgages, TransUnion is the credit reporting agency that is most representative of the average credit score across our country. Now, we've heard some terms, maybe a single versus a tri-merge credit. I think I just wrote off the board, so our audience might not be able to see that last little bit. But you may hear this term, oh, this is going to be a soft pull on your credit, or this is a hard pull. There is no such thing as a unicorn that I've seen running around lately, or a soft pull on your credit. If someone accesses your credit report, it's going to be a single report, and it's going to access one of these repositories for your information. A tri-merge is when they look at all three credit reporting agencies on your credit to get an idea what that average score is. So if you're not sure if you want to commit with somebody as an educated veteran because you've tuned into low VA rates on Facebook Friday, ask that lender to please pull your TransUnion credit. And if they ask you why they want that, why you would like that bureau pulled, that lets you know that they are not a VA specialist such as we have here at low VA rates, because we know the average reporting agency for our veterans we work with. Now, we've got through the boring three things, so we got a little bit of basis for information, and our topic for today is that credit monitoring. So we've seen some of the things in the past. We have, Credit Karma is one of those sites. And when they look at that, there's another one, it's called Credit Sesame. They use a slightly different algorithm than Fair Isaac Corporation, because it's actually, they have a patent on it and it's protected. So these companies here will get you close. One of the things I forgot to mention was Equifax and Experian actually got to write a check for $23 million to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau at the end of 2017 because they were charging people for their credit monitoring services and they weren't actually giving them accurate data. So beware of those things. You don't always get what you pay for sometimes. Both of these companies are free services. They will give you a good, accurate average. So for example, if your Credit Karma score says it's 800, your FICO score that we may see on a mortgage application may be in the 760 range. It's not going to be 100% identical. For this type of borrower, that doesn't really make that big of a difference. But let's say if your Credit Karma score is a 640 and your actual mortgage FICO score comes in at 600, that's a big difference. That means you may have gone from the realm of being eligible to buy a house to not being eligible to buy a house. We want to make sure that the veterans that we work with, we understand how hard you've worked to save that down payment money to cover the cost of your appraisal and maybe the cost of a home inspection. That's why we use that average score of TransUnion when we first look at your information, and why we look at all three credit reporting agencies when we're making our initial pre-qualification determination. So by working with us here at low VA rates, you're going to be able to have confidence when you find your dream home and you write an offer on it. Any questions today, sir?
Yeah, Sarah asks, does it hurt your credit score if your credit is pulled by a mortgage company?
They've made some changes. If you have an inquiry within a 30-day period of time, it counts as one inquiry if multiple mortgage companies access it. Now that's different. If you're looking at buying a new car and you have multiple credit inquiries for a car loan, that does have a negative impact on your credit score.
How do you know if the company is going to give you an accurate estimate of your credit score?
One of the things, you can ask them to provide you a copy of the information. Some of the companies may redact the credit agency or the third-party vendor that they purchased that from, so you can actually see a copy of that. And in our initial loan disclosures, we have a loan disclosure that tells you each one of those agency credit reporting scores that you have. That's all today. Hey, great questions. Always in love hanging out with Low VA Rates Nation on a Friday afternoon. There's two things I want to make sure we point out before we sign off today. One, our condolences to the Bush family on the loss of Barbara Bush this week. Wonderful lady in the public eye for almost 20 years. That's a lot of interviews she did. And the other one, we lost a Marine Corps hero this week, Colonel Fox, Medal of Honor winner in Vietnam, was also a Korean War veteran, spent, I believe it was 42 years in the United States Marine Corps. So as always, to our